What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to another episode of The Drop, the weekly series where I let you guys know what games are coming out across the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC, the Switch, whatever they might be coming out on. We will talk about it right here, and this week is an absolutely massive week, with Crackdown 3, Far Cry New Dawn, Metro Exodus, and Jump Force all making their way to their respective platforms. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. First off, we have Far Cry New Dawn coming on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Dive into a transformed, vibrant, post-apocalyptic Hope County, Montana, 17 years after a global nuclear catastrophe. Join fellow survivors and lead the fight against the dangerous new threat, the Highwaymen, and their ruthless leaders, the Twins, as they seek to take over the last remaining resources. Fight for survival in a post-apocalyptic world. Take up arms on your own or with a friend in two-player co-op in an unpredictable and transformed world. Collide against two all-new villains. Recruit an electric cast of guns and fangs for hire and form alliances to fight by your side against the Highwaymen's unruly leaders, the Twins. Build up your home base and the survivors. Recruit specialists to upgrade your home base who will help unlock all new features, including crafting weapons, gear, and more, and battle for resources in Hope County and beyond. Engage the Highwaymen in turf wars and venture on expeditions to memorable locations across the USA. So for those that don't know, Far Cry New Dawn is essentially a standalone DLC for Far Cry 5. Think back to like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. That's the exact same kind of scenario that we're having right here. But of course, with a brand new standalone DLC, it does warrant a lot more story. It does warrant a lot more changes to the gameplay. Now, albeit this game does have the foundation of Far Cry 5 and a lot of the same mechanics, you do have a couple of new bells and whistles here and there. One of the most notable new features is the fact that the weapon system has been changed, because traditionally in any kind of Far Cry game, you've been able to get pretty much a long-range scope and a suppressor and a sniper, and you can take down basically any kind of compound that needs to be taken down. But now the entire weapon system has been flipped on its head. You'll have to kind of maneuver your way around Hope County in a way that you really never have before in any kind of previous Far Cry games. Now on top of that, the home base mechanic has been implemented within New Dawn, where essentially you build up your home base and you unlock new features that kind of help you throughout the game. And on top of that, enemies have health bars. It's a brand new setting with the post-apocalyptic kind of nature. It's a fantastic new take on Far Cry, and one that I'm very excited to get my hands on later on. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, then you can check out Far Cry New Dawn when it launches this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Next up, we have Crackdown 3 coming on the Xbox One and the PC. Time to step up your boom and stop crime as a superpowered agent in Crackdown 3's open-world sandbox of mayhem and destruction. Explore the heights of New Providence, tear up the streets and iconic vehicles, and use your powerful abilities to stop a ruthless criminal empire. Play the campaign solo or with a friend in co-op mode, or compete in the all-new Wrecking Zone, a multiplayer mode where destruction is your ultimate weapon. Online multiplayer requires Xbox Live Gold functionality. They wanted me to let you know that. And now, some bullet points. Level up your agent. Level up your super agent skills and move as fast as lightning. Jump over skyscrapers, hurl trucks at your enemies to protect the city from cold-blooded criminals. Dangerous open-world playground. Play solo or with a friend in co-op mode to explore an expansive vertical world to infiltrate crime lords and take down their syndicates. Take a boom out of crime. Lure vindictive crime lords out of hiding by completing objectives, attacking criminal operations, and taking out high-value captains. And of course, the all-new multiplayer mode Wrecking Zone. Crackdown 3 includes the all-new Wrecking Zone, an explosive competition with unique modes where destruction is your ultimate weapon against friends and rivals. Crackdown 3 was a game that was supposed to launch a few years back, but essentially with internal struggles and some delays, it's now coming out this week in February of 2019. And checking out some gameplay, if the game had come out maybe back around 2014, maybe 2013, it would have probably been a pretty solid hit. With that being said, this game does not look like a game that is supposed to be coming out in 2019. One of the biggest features that Crackdown 3 is promoting is the fact that they can use cloud technology to amplify the power of your Xbox One, specifically when it comes to the destruction that's being shown off within the game. Essentially, you can level an entire city and it looks pretty when you're doing it. But after seeing that actually done to some degree, it's just not quite there, and I really think that's going to be the legacy of Crackdown 3. It's fine, but it's just not quite there. However, if you're a fan of action, if you're a fan of explosions in the Michael Bay format, and if you're a fan of Terry Crews, that's right, Terry Crews, then you might want to check out Crackdown 3 when it comes out this week on the Xbox One and the PC. And of course, if you do have an Xbox Game Pass subscription, hey, It's free, so you might as well. Next up, we have Metro Exodus coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. The year is 2036. A quarter century after nuclear war devastated the Earth, a few thousand survivors still cling to existence beneath the ruins of Moscow in the tunnels of the Metro. They have struggled against the poison elements, fought mutated beasts and paranormal horrors, and suffered the flames of war. But now, as Artyom? What the hell is an Artyom? But now, as Artyom, you must flee the Metro and lead a band of Spartan Rangers on an incredible continent-spanning journey across post-apocalyptic Russia in search of new life in the East. Metro Exodus is an epic story-driven first-person shooter from 4A Games that blends deadly combat and stealth with exploration and survival horror in one of the most immersive game worlds ever created. Explore the Russian wilderness across vast, non-linear levels and follow a thrilling storyline that spans an entire year through spring, summer, and autumn to the depths of nuclear winter. Inspired by the novels of Dmitry Glukhovsky, Metro Exodus continues Artyom's story in the greatest Metro adventure yet. I'm sure I jacked up those Russian names, but we're just gonna roll with it. I'll be the first to admit that I'm not a big fan of the Metro games. They're just too real for me. But for a lot of people, that's the biggest benefit of the game. Metro Exodus is one of the best looking games of 2019. It is absolutely stunning when it comes to graphical fidelity, but on top of that, and this is one of the points that I always drive home with Metro, is that it is incredibly realistic. Now for me, it's painfully realistic because I like to have kind of a suspension of disbelief in a way where I don't have to focus on realism when I'm playing a game. But with that being said, if you are wondering what it would be like to accurately live through a nuclear fallout in Russia, this is the game for you. Now, of course, it is a very in-depth experience. It's even more hardcore than Fallout, of course, as many people would say. But if you do want to dive in and check out Metro Exodus, it is coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, and it looks beautiful. And finally, we have Jump Force coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC as well. For the first time ever, the most famous manga heroes are thrown into a whole new battleground, our world. Uniting to fight the most dangerous threat, the Jump Force will bear the fate of the entire humankind. Celebrating the 50th anniversary of the famous weekly Jump magazine, Jump Force is making the most of latest technologies to bring characters to life in a never-before-seen realistic design. And now some bullet points. A unique setting merging the Jump world and the real world, which has been capitalized, so apparently the real world is an actual physical location. The Jump Force, an alliance of the most powerful manga heroes from Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, and much more, all come together to battle evil. Realistic graphics bring manga characters to life like never before, and Xbox One X and PS4 Pro support are also in the mix. If you've ever wanted an anime fighting game that's essentially the Smash Bros of anime, that's pretty much what this is. Now with that being said, I have no desire to play this. It looks fantastic, the graphics are very impressive, but I've never watched anime for more than 10 minutes. So if you are a fan of that kind of thing, then by all means you can jump into Jump Force, no pun intended, when it comes out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. And to wrap everything up, we have some honorable mentions. First off, Ali Ali Switch Stance is coming out this week on the Nintendo Switch, and The King's Bird is coming out to the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch after a stay on PC, where it's currently 50% off. So that wraps it up for this week's episode of The Drop. If you did enjoy this one, be sure to drop me a like down below, and if you happen to be brand new to the channel, I do upload new stuff throughout the week. I have a podcast hosted 5 days a week, and there's always some new content right here on the channel for you to enjoy, so hit that subscribe button if you do like what you see. But without further ado, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy those games, and peace.